Imagine life without us. Imagine life without us, baby. Imagine life without us. Imagine life without us, baby.
Imagine life with no season and light with no motherfucking evil. All the guys small petering, now the liquor show, all the singers just Bieber. Imagine life with no Jesus then, no substance that's around where a seed expand. No Will, no Sam or Don Cheadle, no Denzel, they have to reimagine TV land. Imagine life without the mailbox, your white wife without a damn mop. On her knees trying to scrub up every damn spot. Swear you hate niggas, but throw away your doorknob. Then throw away your doorstop. Refrigerated products till your door drop. We bring flavor to this melting pot of mush. Alpha and Omega, no greater. Here's some truth about us.
Imagine life without the darker ones in the field and the lights inside the house. They treated us like laundry, tied and wipe us out. Our culture keep getting robbed more times than I can count. Any word that I pronounce wrong become my new slang. We do things different. You talk that gibberish like Poo-Tang and we who bang missions. Despite oppression, we run shit like you saying. Listen, one invention we ain't contribute, swear you can't mention. Incense, burning to cleanse the air of the evil they tried to hand us. We had to sneak to read and write, still our life is the standard. We never asked to see this land, left our mothers abandoned. But our brothers stuck with us, and we thrive to be candid. Take us away and you don't got cities to live in. Peanut butter and the filament for the light bulb. So frankly, I represent the melanated people created by God. So you can thank me. Imagine life without us.
We just need to go around to these stores and to these massive industries in our country and say God sent us by here to say to you that you're not treating his children right. To make the first item on your agenda fair treatment where God's children are concerned.
You'll never have an album from M. Joe Biden when it never got his bitch ass in. The Kim Kardashian wealth wouldn't exist, and Kylie Jenner still had them thin ass lips. No melted ass. That priority mail y'all make from jail cells will be emptied in mass. And Elvis will be trash. Our tree produced the stick up your ass, and the math that got you in upper class. You eatin' cause y'all starved us. Trademarked our route to fund farmers. So happy Nat Turner brung karma. History shows that y'all God was stolen. More like the great Bob Marley, not Michael Bolton. You motherfuckers took our credit and our debit. First one tell us get over it, get beheaded. Imagine life without us, just forget it. It's embedded that y'all got a nigga fetish.
Yeah, life would be just tragic, cause we bring that magic. Touch without us wouldn't be no such thing as it. If they could kill us or control us, the world would be a zombie apocalypse. Niggas would be soulless. It's like whites without a police badge and shit. Crackers wouldn't even have lights to imagine with. Cause we the us that made man in our image. From the throne to the twilight zone, the outer limits. Now niggas proud of gimmicks and don't understand they work. That we the maker, the owner, cream of the planet Earth, the gods of the universe, fathers and the mothers. But ain't it odd how they love bothering the brothers? Instead of yelling at me, think of the hell of the beat. Just living in a world with no blacks, melanin free. Oh, you hate the sisters and the brothers' faces? With news flash, without us, wouldn't be no other race.
Don't tell me to be cool. I am cool.
Peace to the family, man. How y'all doing, man? Peace, peace, man. Welcome to Sankofa 180 degrees, man. Glad y'all can make it, man. How's everybody doing, man? Everybody good? Thanks, man. Hey, look, man, we got a nice one today, man. We got Gerald, we got we got the original crew, man. We got Eric, we got Kerry. We here, man. How y'all doing?
Peace, fam.
Give me just a minute. 1 minute.
Peace, peace, peace. What do you do, fam?
Peace, peace, peace. And Eric, was that Eric that said that?
Say that again, homie.
Oh no, go ahead, Eric.
Oh, that was me. Go ahead, Eric.
No, I was just saying, peace, family, and I'm ready to get rolling here.
Okay.
Right?
All right, man. All right, man. Thanks, man. Thanks. But hey, listen, man. Listen, don't forget, family. First Sunday every month, we got the children's book read. Real important, man. Get the babies involved, man. Real good information, man. Really good books. We giving them away, man. We better them out, man. Unc, I gotta send you the address too, King. Right? For the book, man. But yeah,
yeah, I'm gonna get that from you.
Yeah, but yeah, but join in, man. It's really important, man. They changed the history on us, man. You know, they rewriting it right in our face, man. They, you know, like I said, here in Florida, they're telling us the slaves, you know, slaves benefited from slavery, man, and they got some kind of skills from slavery. And I just think that that's just so far from the truth, man, that it's just ridiculous, man. Like, you know, people built the pyramids. What kind of skills can you give people that build pyramids, man? You know, man, it come from people that build stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, man, you know, anyway, listen. Join us, man, for the first Sunday every month, man. It's really important, man. Hey, listen, man, get the babies involved, bring the grandkids, you know, kids, to nieces and nephews, nieces, nephews, you know, everybody, bring them all, man. You know, but participate, man, and get your free book, man. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is put your name in the chat. We're gonna spin the wheel, and the winner gonna get a free book, man, mailed to them, man, free of charge, man. Ain't gonna cost you nothing, man, but some time. All right. So listen, man, no further ado, man. Anybody want to say something, man? Anybody want to say anything?
Hey man, hey man, the boy on that guy on the track said our tree produced that stick that's up here. Yeah, that was a cold piece, man.
That's right.
Hey, welcome to the panel, man, and welcome to any of the viewers. And yeah, I got a book for Nino, man. He's the one that won, right?
No, Anna. I think Anna. Didn't Anna win?
Okay,
Yeah,
either
Anna
one.
win. Anna won.
Yeah, just send me that information, and I'll ship this book off.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, we got a good video, man. It's a 30-minute video. If you guys want, we can break it in 2 parts. You know, I can stop at 15 minutes, and it's about how they lied about the true cradle of civilization. All right. Well, we sure had a good build pre-meeting. Y'all got to come on in and join in on that. So I'm ready to go if you guys ready.
Yeah, King, it's the floor's open, man. It's all you, man. Anybody want to say anything, man? Anybody else? Queen Carrie, anybody?
Oh no, I'm good, brother. Thank you.
Eric, Gerald, you good?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good.
Ready to see
Queen?
the
I'm good.
presentation?
I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. All right, man. Go ahead, King. You in the game.
Historians call this rapid growth of cities in southern Mesopotamia between the years 4000 to 3100 BC the Uruk phenomenon. A people whose real origin is unknown may have entered into the region and mixed with the local Ubaid population. What the Ubaidians called them is anyone's guess. They, however, would call themselves Sagiga, meaning the black-headed people.
Before the Sumerians, the Natufians were the inhabitants of the Levant. Right after the warming of the climate that followed the Younger Dryas, the Natufians were the ones who developed the first known civilization. They were also the first to develop agriculture, and increasingly research is showing that they were the builders of Göbekli Tepe. When Dr. Loring Brace from the University of Michigan performed a proximity analysis of the Natufian language, they discovered that the Natufian language is more closely related to one particular language family, the Niger-Congo language family. True knowledge comes from the upward path that leads to the fire eternal.
6,000 years ago,
Misattributed as a Levantine or European civilization, there is now a
region of Sumer. It's
That's not the right one. Sorry.
before spreading towards the Levant. And all
6,000 years ago, one of the first true urban settlements emerged in the ancient region of Sumer. Its people's accomplishments sowed the seeds for civilization to spread.
Let's pause there. If you repeat a lie often enough, does that make it true? No, 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 and no. Mesopotamia is not the cradle of civilization. How can a civilization be the cradle of civilization if all the inventions and discoveries had already been made centuries, often millennia before, by the Nubio-Kemetic civilization? The list of inventions and discoveries by the Africans in Kemet is so long that I will be breaking it into sections as we go through this video. The ancient Egyptians had a saying, and it goes as follows. Compared with the Egyptians, the Greeks are childish mathematicians. We keep hearing this pretty much everywhere, that Mesopotamia started before ancient Egypt, Kemet. So much so that it is almost taken as a fact by much of the population today. But what does the evidence show about these two civilization complexes? Who started first? This is, of course, of great importance when trying to establish where the foundations of our modern civilization began. Where did writing come from? Who built the first settlements? Who were the first to institute science and mathematics? And who were the ones to spread their inventions, knowledge, and know-how that ultimately was inherited by pretty much every civilization of ancient times? No feeling, not preferences, but pure evidence. As we go through the evidence, you will see that historians have conveniently or deliberately muddied the narrative in such a way that the Nubio-Kemetic civilization, better known as ancient Egypt, isn't attributed the title of first and most influential civilization. Probably because the implications, as we shall see, are startling. Stick to the end, where we also reveal a very interesting fact about the origin of Sumer itself. But we begin with the origin of the most influential invention that historians agree has impacted civilization the most. Before we talk about Egyptians and Mesopotamian writing origins, I will briefly mention that there are at least two writing systems that have been discovered in Africa that predate hieroglyphics and cuneiform by at least a millennia, and that's in Sabidi and the Proto-Saharan script, which dates back to a staggering 5000 BC, the first heavily used in the Sahara when it was lush and peopled by black people, and the second hails from the region of Nubia. These are often ignored and thus not known by the general population. But let's go back to Egypt and Sumer. Oh, by the way, there are always a few gems that we leave at the end of our videos. Extensive research has been done on the subject of the origin of writing. Dr. Günter Dreyer clearly shows that the early hieroglyphics were at least centuries older than any of the proto-forms of cuneiform from Mesopotamia. And how is he so sure? Multiple items recovered from the tomb Uj, where the pallets were recovered, have been carbon dated to 3400 BC. Items such as linen. This makes them at least a century older than any early form of writing in Mesopotamia. Dr. Günter Dreyer of the German Institute of Archaeology is perhaps the most prominent of a number of archaeologists who showed that writing actually developed out of early marks that were used to tally the kinds and amounts of goods in stock at ancient warehouses. Dr. Dreyer recently discovered numerous inscribed bone labels attached to bags of oil and linen in the tomb of King Scorpion I at Abydos, Egypt. The labels date back 5,300 years, are the world's earliest known writing, and describe inventory owners, amounts, and suppliers. To get a good measure of Dr. Dreyer, here is a quote from one of his interviews, and I quote, "In Germany and in many other countries, you study philology, hieroglyphs, writing, texts, inscriptions, but you cannot really study archaeology. You can learn about some monuments, but to study archaeology, you must go to the field. You must work in an excavation. The best training you can get in Europe
is with the prehistorians who work in Europe, and they don't have big temples." End quote. This is well known in academia, but seldom talked about, causing people to continue believing in the fallacy that Mesopotamia was the cradle of civilization. If anything, given the dates and the direction of propagation of civilization, it is more logical to conclude that the Mesopotamian writing system, along with their civilization, were in fact heavily influenced by the Africans from the Nubio-Kemetic civilization, and we will see that in more details later on. Well then, what now of the statement that Mesopotamia was first in writing? By now the damage has already been done, in a similar fashion that follows the belief that Egypt wasn't Black African. It is believed by archaeologists that writing arose out of increasing complexity deriving from organization of large populations, generally found in city-states and large civilization complexes. But it doesn't stop at writing. The Africans also pioneered key theological concepts first. Knowing when and where the first settlements and concentration of population occurred is crucial, as it will tell us where organized social, economical, and political structures first arose. The classical ancient Egyptian history begins when King Narmer unified Upper and Lower Egypt. See King Narmer's statue here and this awesome reconstruction of King Narmer from King Monologue and Mr. Imhotep. But in truth, Narmer wasn't the first African king of the Nubio-Kemetic civilization complex. All along the Nile, well before Narmer, there was already a vibrant set of densely populated centers. Narmer was the first king to unite the two lands of Upper and Lower Egypt, securing the coveted title of Nebtawi, translating to Lord of the Two Lands. These independent kingdoms were nourished by the silt of the generous Nile. And these communities existed all the way back from 5500 BC to 3100 BC. And Egyptologists call it the pre-dynastic period. This period is broken down into three phases: the early pre-dynastic, the middle pre-dynastic, and the late pre-dynastic. And it is during the middle pre-dynastic that we see the hallmarks of Egyptians' large population centers develop. This period lasted from 3500 BC to 3100 BC. Pay close attention to these dates, as we will come back to them when comparing them with the first significant settlements in Mesopotamia. The middle pre-dynastic is also known as the Gurzian phase, named for Darb el-Gurza on the Nile to the east of Fayum in Lower Egypt. It is also known as the Naqada II phase for similar sites in Upper Egypt, once again found around Naqada. Of particular importance is a Gurzian religious structure, a temple found at Hierakonpolis, which had early examples of Egyptian tomb painting. Pottery from this phase is often decorated with depictions of birds and animals, as well as more abstract symbols for gods. The tombs are often quite substantial, with several chambers built out of mud bricks. The late pre-dynastic, which blends into the first dynastic period, is also known as the proto-dynastic phase. Egypt's population had grown considerably, and there were substantial communities along the Nile, which were politically and economically aware of each other. Goods were exchanged and a common language was spoken. It was during this phase that the process of wider political agglomeration began. Archaeologists keep pushing back the date as more discoveries are made, and the more successful communities extended their spheres of influence to include nearby settlements. The process led to the development of two distinct kingdoms of Upper and Lower Egypt, the Nile Valley and Nile Delta areas respectively. While it is true that archaeologists have found that settlements in Mesopotamia did back to 4000 BC, there are two clearly indicating items that when combined went to larger and earlier settlements existing in Kemet. The first one being that the Africans extensively used mud bricks for construction. Some of them are still being unearthed, like these ones in Dukigel. And the second most important, which points to a very large population back in 8000 BC, is Nabta Playa. Nabta Playa alone shows that Africans already had large population concentration along the Nile, because one cannot build such a large and mathematically precise cosmological observatory without specialization. And specialization arises out of layers and layers of sedentary and agriculturally backed social structures. Just to build Nabta Playa alone, you need astronomers, you need mathematicians, you need the priest class, you need a large workforce, you need an agricultural system producing enough food so that people have enough time and energy to dispense on such a project, and you need the social structures to allow for coordinated effort to start and complete this project. It also shows that well into the 8th millennium BC, Africans had already started the long process of observing the celestial movement. And this would have happened for the period spanning at least a few centuries before Nabta Playa was built. And this is another one of those archaeological discoveries that are seldom covered. So we can see that millennia before urban centers started sprawling up in Mesopotamia, Kemet, the Nubio-Kemetic civilization complex, was already very populated and very sophisticated, is sophistication that grew, and the population that grew, reaching an inflection point in 3500 BC in the middle and late pre-dynastic period, where these artifacts and monuments show up in increasing frequency, in a pretty much complete Egyptian civilization by 3100 BC, when King Narmer from Sudan unified Upper and Lower Egypt. As more and more Africans gathered in Kemet, and as their population centers grew considerably, before they started writing down the names of their kings, queens, and gods, Kemetu showed mastery in another science well before the Sumerians. As early as 4800 BC, the Africans from the Nubio-Kemetic civilization had a functioning calendar. This is no surprise given the fact that they already built Nabta Playa 3,000 years earlier. This means that the Egyptians had already acquired a large portfolio of math skills. In fact, it's not until 2600 BC that Mesopotamia starts showing signs of advanced maths with their base 60 number, 60 minutes hours, and their 360 degrees geometry. But notice that 2600 BC was when the Africans were already building pyramids, showing mastery of numeracy, arithmetics, geometry, trigonometry, fractions, and they went as far as inventing algebra. There are so many firsts in mathematics from the Africans in Kemet that covering it here would make it a 2-hour video. If you want more details on the true history of mathematics, check the link in the description. The Egyptians had a calendar as early as 4800 BC, but in 4200 BC, their mathematics and astronomy produced a 365-day calendar, 12 months of 30 days plus 5 feast days. As we mentioned before, by 3100 BC, the time of the Egyptian mace, various agricultural communities along the banks of the Nile were united by a Nubian, Menes, also called Narmer, who founded a dynasty of 32 pharaohs and lasted for the next 3,000 years. For more than half that time, Egypt included parts of modern Israel and Syria, as well as the Nile Valley. This is an important point to note. Today, the populations living in those areas have very few individuals who look African. But back then, the western part of the Levant was in great part populated by Africans, and more importantly, ruled by Africans. Often, when historians cite events from that region, this fact is ignored. To rule effectively, an efficient and extensive administration was developed by the Africans for taking taxes, census, and maintaining a large army. All of this required some mathematics. At first, they used counting glyphs, but even by 2000 BC, the hieratic glyphs were in use. For information on sources, see Egyptian mathematical papyri. And here, too, we see how the propagation of knowledge and know-how came from the south northward. This doesn't mean that the Levantine were lesser humans, incapable of inventions. Far from that. In fact, Mesopotamian math went on to introduce very useful concepts that we have covered, but also they introduced the decimal system, which was much better than the fractional system used by the Egyptians. But with all this, there is a better way to determine where the true origin of civilization was. I think that
Just 1 minute. So What y'all think about that, man? And is it inspiring enough to continue on with the next 16 minutes? So if you guys want to say something about that part. I thought it was a pretty good conglomerate of things that we talked about, condensed into this little display here. So
I thought I think it's slick.
Good information.
all right. There.
Hey, you can tell that our people have been dealing with them stars, man, and constellations for a long time, King.
Yeah.
Our people have been dealing with constellations for a long, long time. And it's always gonna be a battle between Mesopotamia and Kemet and who started first. It shouldn't be, but it is. But he made the point. Everything was already invented, brother. How'd you start anything? Like, right? I mean, you don't, so they showed all that. I mean, that was just, at least, they showed what they was trying to show.
Remember, I always say it's one criteria that they try to throw you off with. They try to claim they're right. If they claim right, and they're supposed to seal it for them. You know what I'm saying? That's what that competition is, right over that right. But as they say at that Dr. Gunner Drive, he say he done found in another tomb, and they say they're gonna keep pushing our shit back because we got evidence. They found in some tomb UJ, that they got, some script that'll push us back around 35 to 3400.
I mean, what amazes me is I don't think people really realize that for Narmer to unify Kemet in the pre-dynastic period, right? King, they had been going through shit years and years. Man, listen, we gotta. I wish they had information on the pharaohs before Narmer, even in the middle or the early pre-dynastic periods, because all we got is the late pre-dynastic periods. We don't have the middle or the early.
Right.
You feel me? And that would just be beautiful, man, to have because I mean, just think about it, man. I mean, that shows you that they had governments at this time, man. In the pre-dynastic periods, King.
Yeah, again, that's what sometimes people, when they think of pre-dynastic, they think it's some primitive. And no, they weren't primitive. They're the same as the dynastic. They just weren't united.
Right.
It don't mean they was primitive. They was same mind, intellect, and everything. So a lot of that stuff you're not gonna find because of that Osborne Dam, is what I know. A lot of it we're not gonna find, but
Explain the Aswan Dam. It was a covered city.
Well, Osborne is more of dealing with some of the southern parts of Nubia, this Nubia connection that they keep talking about. A lot of that has been put up underwater because of the Osborne Dam. The one of the main temples, Abu Simbel, that we see today, which got them big statues or big figures and niches where people go inside the temple and it's seated, big figures of King Tut and his wife, sometimes compared to the what you call it, what they do, the presidents. What do they call it, president shit? Where the president's heads at? But that's where they get that concept from.
Washington Monument,
Yeah, yeah. That's a concept that they got from us. But that would be underwater too. They had to actually move that. UNESCO actually moved them temples to save them. So a lot of our information was gonna be lost when they decided to bury when they decided to make that ass one down. A lot of artifacts were lost. They're gonna be lost. Some of the last thing that they talk about is it was a dude who was one of the last diggers, and he held on information until he died. He died with it. He never told. And his somebody who was under him told it. And that's how we knew about, like 300 years before what we call the dynastic period. They had a bunch of different kings, but they had this information and held on to it. One of the things that was said in that video was that white boy was saying, you can't study archaeology. You actually got to be in the field.
Right.
And every time he say stuff like that, I'm gonna make sure I big up and give a shout out to Tony Browder for doing what he's doing to be in that field. And I cannot wait to hear from an Afrocentric point of view when he comes back, when he deals with our evidence, the same as when Diop dealt with the evidence from a scientific and came from an Afrocentric point of view. He changed the whole game. I think the same thing gonna happen with Tony Browder. He's gonna change the whole game and be able to tell us, what our ancestors and what they've been lying about our ancestors remains, and the things that they left that's supposed to help awaken us. These scientists knowing that they gotta hide that shit, just as they're doing with this Mesopotamia. They're trying to big up Mesopotamia over, the Nubia Kemet. And as he's showing you all this evidence right here, you can't do that with them. No way, no how. Or we know about it. And what we're saying is, we do got evidence and they suppressing this. Everybody supposed to know this. Because even when you pushing back then, these first kings is the first kings we should know about on earth, God damn it.
Right.
Yeah, we got kings before y'all got an Adam and an Eve, according to y'all little shit. Because this pushing away back there. We already got kings for y'all got Adam.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah. Damn, like, open your damn eyes, man. When you look at this shit, man, like when you in the pre-dynastic period, the late pre-dynastic period.
Oh, boys.
Right? Man, come on with that, man. Adam and Eve, shit, they wasn't even here yet, man. And they got civilizations. They got people they got kingships. You know what I'm saying? They got, you know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
Okay, so according to Adam and Eve, the world wasn't created till when?
6,000.
Push it back as far as we can go.
6,000.
The Earth is only supposed to be 6,000, little over 6,000 years old.
So 6,500. What the fuck?
Let's push it back 6,500 BC. We're gonna push it back that far.
Yeah, let's just give it to him. Fuck it.
All right. The Earth ain't. The world ain't created yet, right?
Not until 6,500 years ago.
Right. Now tell me about Naphtha. Any one of y'all tell me about Naphtha.
Naphtha was one of the first structures in Kemet.
What time frame you talking about, brother? What are you talking about?
What's been Naphtaliah? Naphtaliah was shit. That's before the that's before the dynastic periods.
Uh-huh.
That I mean, let me see. Let me look it up. Let me look it up.
You know anything about that, brother Rizzo?
Somebody said something about 10,000. I hear
Naphtaliah.
10,000 year
Somebody
BC.
said 8,000. I heard about 8,000.
8 to
So
10. I've
you got,
heard both.
some brothers studying the stars that ain't even created in the world created, and we got evidence of it. You know what I'm saying? See how crazy this shit gets?
Man, is somebody here?
Right.
You know.
Okay.
So Naphtaliah is older than the creation of the world, according to an Afrocentric point of view. We're looking at history that way.
So Naphtaliah is I guess okay. So wait, is this what? No, yeah, I think it's founded approximately. So it was founded approximately 7,500 years ago.
But ain't nobody else right there now. I'll pull you back up here by the time they come back. They'll ask. Maybe they want to take a shit.
So that's what it's. I think that's what it's saying.
Okay.
It said so. It said that it's founded approximately 7,500 BC, the Neolithic period.
Okay.
So so 60. So that's 1,000 years before Adam and Eve. Oh, well, wait a minute, man. First of all, we got to get the creation of the goddamn earth before we get Adam and Eve, don't we? Hold on now.
Right.
Shit, let's back up a little bit. We got to get the earth here
And
first.
they got penguins, man, recorded 60,000 years ago. So, I mean, they didn't need to quit playing, man.
Like,
Man,
yeah. So, but they said, well, hold on, but okay. So, damn. So you just fucked that up. You just just fucked up that little argument. Hey, so you know what I'm saying? They just fucked that all the way up right there, man. Like, yeah, they 60,000. What? No, the world, now the earth ain't even here yet. Now, shit. According to the Bible, according to some of the religious folks, the world ain't here yet. So you gotta you ahead of the game. But it's saying that so according to this, Naphtaliah is 1,000 years older than Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
So we was building structures 1,000 years before Adam and Eve. So that's Adam and Eve. So okay, so that's damn, man. That's
when you play with it that way,
well, hold
you
on though.
understand that
So the world
creation,
wasn't here yet though. The earth ain't supposed to be here yet.
right? So you got the world and Adam, between the world and Adam and Eve is 6 days. You with me?
Between what now?
Between the creation of the world and Adam and Eve is 6 days.
All right.
That's how they say it.
What
So
you talking about?
And then so one day is supposed to equal 1,000 years or something?
No, I'm just saying that you got the creation of the world, and within that 6 days, you got Adam and Eve. It was created in 6 days, and on the seventh day, he rests.
Look at what?
Right.
Right.
True.
So the major point, I think on that third or fourth day is when he so-called brought in the lights. He brought in the sun, and the stars and all this.
Yeah.
That might have been the third or the fourth day.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
We already studying stars and mapping the sun according to our story before, as you saying, before the fourth day or the third day or whichever day y'all say it was created.
The 6th day, I think. Oh, well, I don't know what day it was. I think it had to be on the 5th day, because didn't he create man on the 6th? What happened on the 6th day? Something happened, man. They were doing
On the
something.
6th day,
What the fuck they were doing, man? They were working or something. What they were doing, man?
Seventh day is the
7th day is the what?
Oh, shit. Yeah, yeah, boys, man. Oh my God.
Yeah, they were doing something on the 7th day. No, on the 7th day he was resting. So all the first 6 days, a dude was working his ass. He was working out, man, because he had he created the sun, moon, stars. No, he created something, and then it was void, and then he seen that something happened, and it was empty and shit. He wanted some, so shit started happening. He put shit together, right? Let me see. Then,
You
right?
going to hell, Jamie. You going to hell.
I'm just saying. He pushed it together, and he was putting shit together. So the second day, yeah, right. He got to doing the plants. Okay, yeah. He created the light, one light, and then another light that was small, a little that was dark.
I think he created the plants first.
He created.
We was talking about that.
Well, first no, because he created a light, and then he created a lesser light, right? But it wasn't. It wasn't. Neither one of them was the sun, and neither one of them was the moon. So that's still a fucking mystery right there. I just might want to figure that out. I want to just keep a check mark on that part right there, because that's a mystery right there. But then you're right. I think he created the plant life before.
Because we was tripping. Because I was tripping on that.
Yeah, I think he created a plant life before he created a couple of days before he created the sun. Yeah. So right?
Let's see. I'll just read it, man. It said, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And
now this 6,000 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, let there be light. Okay, that was the first joint then.
Right. See, I told you. Let it be light. Now, but it ain't no sun and it ain't no moon. Let's keep that in mind, y'all.
Right.
So I don't know what kind of light he talking about or what kind of less light he talking about.
And God let there be light, and there was light. And God said, and God saw the light was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night.
Now he still ain't creating. Now hold it right there. Now see, right there, he ain't created damn motherfucking sun, no moon. So what the fuck? What's this light? I'm trying to figure out.
Right.
And he separated, and he called something day and some night. So now you got a daytime and you got a night now. So now what's lighting up today? I don't give a fuck about the night, but what's lighting up today? What this light is? Because it ain't the sun yet. All right, go ahead, kid.
The name stated as the sun in the Bible. So the question becomes,
it ain't the sun. Go ahead, King.
Oh, I thought Eric was talking to us. Okay, and God called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day. And God said, let there be ferment in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament.
So he divided water from the water?
He divided water from the water.
Yeah, see, here we go again. Okay, we divide water into water, out of water. All right, let's go. I'm trying to get down. All right.
And let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament and divided the waters from which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament.
Oh, okay. I get it. Okay, so he's making land. Okay, I see. All right, let's go. That makes sense now. Here we go. I think
God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. And God said, let the waters under the heaven.
So it's the second day. we still ain't got no sun, so I don't get how we doing this, but okay. We got days and nights now.
Right.
Yeah.
And God said, let the waters under the heavens be gathered into the one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. And God called the dry earth land, the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called her seas. And God saw that it was good. And God said, let the earth bring forth grass, herbs yielding seed, and the fruit trees yielding after its kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth, and it was so. And the earth was brought forth.
So he dealing with the plants right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Dealing with
dealing with the plants, and we still ain't got no sun. Okay, all right.
And the earth brought forth grass, and the herb yielding seed after its kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the third day.
So the third day, so that's the third day he done created. All right. Yeah, I told you he was working.
And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons, and for days and for years. And let there be light in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament, firmament of the heaven to give the light upon the earth. Sorry about that. And to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and morning were the fourth day.
Wait. So the fourth day, what did he do? He created what now?
And God sent him the firmamentation of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And on the evening and the morning were the fourth day.
So the sun and the moon, right?
Is that the sun and the moon yet?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know. They keep calling it light.
All right. Okay. Keep going.
Okay. And God said, let the waters bring forth it abundantly the moving creatures that have life, and fowl that may fly above the earth, and in the open firmament of heaven. And God created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and were winged fowls after his kind. And God saw it was good. And God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let fowl multiply on the earth. And the evening and the morning were the fifth day. God said, let the earth bring forth the living creatures after its kind, cattle and creeping things, the beasts of the earth after his kind, and it was so. And God made the beasts of the earth and his kind, the cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And God saw it was good. And God said, let us make in our image. There go Jamie's thing right here. And God said, let us make in our image after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, over the cattle, over all the earth, and over every creepy thing that creepeth upon the earth. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, replenishing the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. And God said, Behold, I give you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of the earth, and every tree in which is the fruit of, and which is the fruit of the tree yielding seed to you, it shall be for meat. And to every beast on the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth on the earth, wherein there is life, I have given you green herbs for meat. And it was so. God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. There you go.
Yeah.
And then we didn't just have to keep talking about it, I can refer to it at least.
Yeah, right. Good looking, man. Yeah, so I don't know, man. Yeah, this, like I said, I tell you what. I tell you what. What y'all think about that?
Yeah, it's
I
just
want to see what y'all think about that.
no, man, I ain't getting into that one.
What?
No, you go ahead, get started if you want to. We still got 17 minutes of that video if you want to see it, or we can just
let's go ahead and finish it, man. Well, hey, Eric, you want to say something, King? Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. What's your question? I had to step away. I had to put it on mute for a minute.
Yeah. We're just gonna watch the second part of this video.
Oh, cool.
You want to see that?
Go ahead. Well, go ahead. I'm down.
Okay, bet.
Hey, Gerald, you got anything you want to say?
I'm good.
Hey, Queen, you want to say something about that?
I'm good. I'm ready to watch the rest.
Okay.
I know Jamie ready to get into that and let us be create in our image.
Yeah, that's what we did, man. We created God in our image and our likeness. That's what we did.
Right.
Yeah, that's all we did. We did the motherfuckers and created God in their own image and their own likeness, man. Go ahead, King. I'm listening. It's good.
No. All right, let's go ahead and get it in.
All right.
How's it look, boo?
Looks, you got enough look.
The best way to show where the real cradle of civilization is to list out all the items that were first done or created by the Africans in the Nubio-Kemetic civilization complex. Pay attention. Community banking, police, medicine, including anatomy, surgery, and diagnosis of many diseases from cancer to diabetes, needles, paved roads, scissors, writing paper, postal system, law, encryption, keys, dams, fortresses, horse saddle, toothpaste, denture and dentistry, zoos, military organization, catapult, women hygienic cloths, birth control, mathematics including pi, zero, negative numbers, fractions, quadratic equations, exponentiations, binary calculations, base 10 numeral system, square root, mathematical symbols, conventions, and much more. Mercury, units and standards of measurements, maps, astronomy, calendars, including the 365-day calendar and a leap year, architecture columns and pylons, cavettos, lever, large-scale buildings, gardens, corbel arch, makeup, tapestry, synthetic pigmentation, Olympic Games. It was called Hebsed. The Greeks copied it and renamed it the Olympic Games. Many of the sports we have today, including bowling, hockey, handball, gymnastic, weightlifting, high jump, fencing, wrestling, marathon, and so many more. Frying and cooking, foie gras, biscuits, cheese, umbrellas, high arpin shirt, high gel, gloves, perfume, flip-flops, high R extensions, hair dye, wine, monotheism, schools, organized labor, sick leave, strike action, king lists, pens and ink, calendars, watches to tell time, high heels, tobacco and pipes, pest control, logbooks. The list is in fact so long that I had to edit out many minor inventions and discoveries. But I think you get the pictures. In no way can Mesopotamia be considered the cradle of civilization. It is not only a stretch, it is an insult to the truth, a truth that has been for far too long denied.
I found it interesting that he mentioned monotheism schools.
Even in religion, you will see that the Sumerians didn't invent much. Their religious framework comes from the Africans in Kemet. Two most popular gods of Mesopotamia are Anu and Ara. This is very interesting because these correspond directly to the ancient Egyptian gods Ani and Ra. Furthermore, the earliest known theory pertaining to the location of the soul is thought to come from ancient Egypt during the 3rd millennium BCE. Ancient Egyptian civilizations held the belief that the soul was composed of several parts: the Ba, Ka, Ren, Shut, and the Ib. Furthermore, the Ib was located in the heart and considered the vital force that brought human beings to life. Because the Ib was also responsible for thoughts and feelings, its status determined a person's fate upon their death. This took place during a heart-weighing ceremony in which Anubis would feed the heaviest hearts to the demon Ammit. It is believed that the ancient Egyptian view of the heart formed the foundation for later theories on the location for the human soul. In Mesopotamian conceptions of the afterlife, life did not end after physical death, but continued in the form of an etemu, a spirit or ghost dwelling in the netherworld. Further, physical death did not sever the relationship between living and deceased, but reinforced their bond through a new set of mutual obligations. You can see how both of these concepts of afterlife are very similar. In a sense, the pyramids themselves are said to be the representation of a vessel, a ship, that will carry and protect the pharaoh through space, time, and through dimensions towards the afterlife. And this also explains the fascination for Egyptians to maintain the body through time via mummification. Mummification that we have seen comes from Western Sahara when it was still lush and populated by black people. These salient concepts are well described by Dr. Kaitezua Luyaluka when he links ancient Kemetu religion and Sumerian religion to ATR, African traditional religions. These religions differ from the Western model of religion in that they are in reality exact sciences. Central African religion from the Congo shows that it is a continuation of the solar scientific religion practiced in Kemet and Sumer. When one studies the mythologies and historical texts from Kemet and Sumer, we quickly find that the astral bodies and the unseen fabric of the universe are all present. Unlike Western religions that depend on the materiality of the physical, African traditional religions was in fact the source of Kemetic and Sumerian religion before the Western materialism and distortion of Darwinism applied to religion erroneously relegated ATR to a backward stance. And yet, it was the originator and a veneration of science, as Dr. Kiatezua shows. Furthermore, the Mesopotamian had a pantheon of gods that represented different aspects of nature and of humanity. These concepts are directly taken from the ancient Nubio-Kemetic civilization complex, where a pretty much full set of complements of these gods are present back in 3100 BC. They do evolve over time to culminate into the Amana era monotheism, when Akhenaten recognized the one and only true God as Amun-Ra, from which all Abrahamic religion befall, intact with pretty much all its tenets, from the 10 Commandments to the fasting. In the Mesopotamian pantheon, Ani was the father of all gods. The earliest reference of Anu in the Levant was in the early dynastic period 2900 to 2330 BC. The Sumerian called him Anu, meaning the sky or god of the sky. In the study of ancient Egyptian religious systems, we observe a multitude of deities, each with distinct roles and attributes. However, the complexity often attributed to this pantheon may be overstated. A close examination of the Heliopolitan creation myth provides a systematic categorization of these entities, simplifying our understanding of their nature and functions. According to this Heliopolitan narrative, the deities are divided into two principal categories. The first group, known as the Hermopolitan Ogdoad, embodies the pre-created world's gods, consisting of 8 entities in total. This group is formed of 4 paired male and female deities, each pair signifying distinct aspects of the primeval state, the Nun. This was an elemental form of existence, predating creation, characterized as a limitless, formless, and timeless expanse of dark waters. Does that remind you of anything? Of course, because today scientists understand the universe to exist on an invisible, stretchable substrate, which we call space-time, from which all matter exists. How did the Kemetu, back in 3000 BC, find such an accurate representation of the universe and incorporate it into their religious system is simply baffling. The second group, referred to as the Heliopolitan Ennead, represents the gods of the post-creation world. The preeminent deity in this category is Atum. According to the myth, Atum emerged from the Nun, effectively differentiating himself from the pre-created state and instigating the process of creation. This event marked the transition from the pre-created world, governed by the Eight, to the created world, under the auspices of the Nine, thereby bringing into existence the world as known in the Heliopolitan tradition. We have seen how the Africans from Kemet preceded the Mesopotamians in writing, and we even saw how in religion the Mesopotamians took their inspirations from the Africans. So then let's take a look at where the first population centers first emerged between Mesopotamia and Kemet. Although it may be uncomfortable to admit today that black people were the ones to light the spark of civilization, it doesn't make it less true. The unfortunate truth is that in this realization lies the answer to many of our modern ills. The Afro-descendants community has suffered for far too long from this artificially induced view that they are incapable of civilization building and technology. And yet history tells us otherwise. History also provides a template that shows that we could have much greater economic output and innovation if the full potential of human capacity was used. Instead of creating division along lines of melanin concentration, we could have not so much as a utopia, but a world where we are all better off. Unfortunately, we are left with a world where ignorance and lies lead to fear, hatred, where obviously despicable acts are now justified and sanctioned under the assumption that all black people are not deserving of a chance, let alone of kindness. This in turn creates a vicious cycle where people of color, specifically black youth, excluded from the economy, preyed upon by the system from policing to prison to media, who benefit from their malfortune. This black youth, just like youth anywhere without jobs and option, have no option but to opt for whatever is left to help them survive. And with these come bad practices and habits. Oh yes, before I leave you, I do want to go over the identity of the population that brought the foundations of the Sumerian civilization. Here are two extracts from both John D. Baldwin and Dr. Rashidi on the matter. Ancient Sumer, the biblical land of Shinar, modern Lower Mesopotamia, flourished in the 3rd millennium BC, covering the territorial expanse of the Tigris-Euphrates River Valley. Embracing the shores of the Persian Gulf, Sumer extended north to Akkad, a distance of about 320 miles, thus constituting southern Babylonia. The appellation Chaldea, frequently applied to the region, appears to have been introduced by the Assyrians in the 9th century BC. The designations Babylon, Babylonia, and Chaldea have been used extensively, particularly by 19th century scholars, in reference to the area now almost exclusively known as Sumer. Sumer appears to be the first major high culture of Western Asia. She bequeathed to her successor states a tradition of great achievement. Her many contributions to civilization are well known. Brilliant agriculturalists, the Sumerians built very sophisticated canals and reservoirs to irrigate their fields. They possessed both an advanced legal system and a well-developed knowledge of medicine, and were perhaps the ancient world's greatest astronomers. While these salient facts regarding Sumer's obvious cultural genius are well known, the important question of the racial composition of its population is generally glossed over. This apparent cloud concerning race, however, is very thin, and there is a substantial body of evidence in support of the position that the civilization of Sumer was the product of black migrations from Africa's Nile Valley. This is not to argue that ancient Sumer was exclusively peopled by blacks, or that the Africans were the only early ethnic entity in the area. Sumer was at the crossroads of Asia, Africa, and Europe, And over the millennia, there was a great deal of foreign intrusions and racial intermingling. In respect to Sumerian civilization, however, the black contribution was decisive and far overshadowed that of the later invaders. We will give a special shout out to all those who are able to identify 5 of the countries from the traditional outfits shown. I would also like to quote John D. Baldwin in his book, Prehistoric Nations. It is now admitted that a people of the Kushite or Ethiopian race, sometimes called Hamites, were the first civilizers and builders throughout Western Asia, and they are traced by the remains of their language, their architecture, and the influence of their civilization on both shores of the Mediterranean, in Eastern Africa and the Nile Valley, in Hindustan, and in the islands of the Indian Seas. These conclusions clearly show that civilization and technology originated south, from the interior of the African continent, well before the tragedy of the drying up of the Sahara. Civilization then migrated north of the Nile, before spreading towards the Levant. And all archaeological records show this. I want to send a huge shout out again to our supporters. The easiest way to support us is to join us on YouTube, or support us via Patreon. You guys are the real heroes.
Ain't no sound, huh?
No?
No.
But there ain't no sound. It's on mine, but I don't know what changed. You could hear the dude talking before that though, right?
Yeah, it just blinked out. I mean,
Yeah, it's just
the share's still up there.
yeah, and they're not saying anything. They're just playing music. But
Okay. That's probably why then. Yeah.
it's almost over.
Again, a huge thank you to all those who are making this content possible by supporting us.
Can you hear him talking now?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I hear it now.
Consider becoming a supporter of this channel via YouTube or Patreon.
Yeah, that's pretty sharp right there, man.
Yeah, I subscribed to this joint too, man. I thought it was really well put together, but
Join us and see how those who are said to be without history birthed civilization itself.
Yeah, that was a good. That was a good one, man. Really good information.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, for sure. That's some good information right there.
6,000 years ago, one of the first.
Glad I could please the gods and the queens.
That's right, man. We good to go, man. Shit. That was
Yeah,
good,
so my
man. So what
thinking
y'all think
was,
about that? Yeah, go ahead.
my thinking was, how close to the dates do you think they kept it? And was there any discrepancies that anybody want to bring up, or any agreements or whatever you want to share about the Sumerians and the Mesopotamians and the Kemeticians?
I mean, as far as I know, I mean, they wasn't good, man. Good information.
They took it back down to the Congo, didn't they?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
From my little history, I always knew the Sumerians were called the Blackheads. But I knew that Africans had moved outside of Africa. Just because you was African, you didn't have to stay in Africa. Also, the area, as they say, it's a bunch of intermingling. But when it comes down to putting down the civilization, when they push that back, they always say that's blacks, and then somebody else came and took over. So, but that just always been my thing, arguing about that area over there. What they call Samaria or even Mesopotamia. I knew our African ancestors was there too. You know what I'm saying?
That's
No
right.
ifs, ands, and buts. Sometimes people try to claim it's Asians or whatever. And all I can say is wait for the artifacts to speak for themselves. Don't find them bones, and them bones is gonna say whether they African or not. Then all that talk, because most time when you're going back far enough, they keep saying New Tuffians. But
Yeah.
I tell you that the New Tuffians is Africans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I had to catch on to that word. Anytime they saying that, that's the African DNA in that,
What did you call it? The Tuffians?
Natufians.
The
Tufian.
Tufian. Yeah, my bad.
No.
Yeah. So that's African DNA, and that's outside of Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Culture. And sometimes they'll say Bandarian. That Nakata is African. All that when they saying that.
Right.
So
Yeah, that's good stuff.
That's
Yeah,
right, though.
I thought it was pretty good when I watched it, man, and I was looking for some stuff, and so yeah, it was good.
Hit another jackpot.
Man, I'm glad to please the gods and the queens, man.
Yeah.
God's
Hit
period.
another cold jackpot, man.
Man, it was a good session, man. Y'all turned up early, man, in the pre demo. Y'all turned up real good, man.
Some people just ain't gonna be, sometimes you just ain't gonna better explain it, man.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's better that you just leave it alone instead of trying to explain it, because then you start to look kind of goofy when you're trying to explain something like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're trying to pass it off as some real history or historical events, or historical people. Nah, man, ain't nothing historical about the book, man. It's nothing. I'm sorry, bro. Just no history in that book. There's a whole bunch of damn claims, but there's no damn history in that book, man. History books have dates and times, so you can refer back to, that you can get, you can figure out where you're at and look back and see what time this happened and what time that. You ain't gonna find that there. You gotta guess. Got to guesstimate of the time frame. That's why they can make all the claims they want, because you ain't gotta pin them. You ain't gotta hold to one time frame or another. You can just make the claim and just it happened. You know, just like the brother, you know, you want us to believe that these people existed because of the Kodak Sinaiticus. This is what this is what. See, and we supposed to do this is what we're supposed to do though. We you know, shit, you know, we supposed to believe that because the Codex Sinaiticus said, or
And I had
because
never heard that in the defense of my life.
or because Mark, Luke, and John said it, but you don't know who they is, where they is, and how would you get a Mark over in Iraq? What Mark doing over there, man? And John and Matthew. How that happen? I just don't get how they doing this, man. You know, but
I think it's too bad that that guy couldn't stay on and hear some proof. You know, like this, if he could have watched this video, but they always gotta bounce because they don't like what we're saying. That's too bad.
some people jump into places and think that it's easy or sweet. And you know, a lot of them do that, man. They'll go from channel to channel trying to see, you know, if they can dominate or if they can
Sure.
just, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, and then you come to this one and find out that you can't pull that garbage over like you do the other channels. You can't, you know, that part of, you know, and he's not he's not very strong in his teachings as far as apologists. I mean, sorry, you know, as apologists, because usually they're pretty strong in that you know, in what they study, pretty strong in it, and they, you know, they pretty much know that Bible. You know, it's just sad, man. How yeah, it's just crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy how, you know, how we supposed, like I said, you just going off of what the consensus because a bunch of Christians say that it's so. You know, you going off of Mark, Luke, and John. Well, where's these dudes at? Where's these cats at, man? You know, we got bodies of the people we talking about. Where, and they much older, much older. So it shouldn't be nothing to find these cats. A little fuck it, just find a finger. Fuck it, just find a finger, man. A spoon. Shit, something, man. A jawbone. Whatever, man. You know, but you can't. They ain't found nothing over there, man. Where they? So they all went to heaven. All
don't exist.
it's over. I guess it's over 3,000 characters in the Bible, and all of them went to heaven because you can't find none of them. Can't find none of them. Where they go? Where do they go? They got a show.
Ate the bones.
They got a show out called "Where Did They Go?" Don't they? Or where did they go?
Yeah, they gonna have one. Hey man, I keep wondering what these cats in the back of my background are thinking, man, while they're watching that little kid. That was just a little off thought, man.
Yeah, because they show look like they real damn. They like whatever it is. God damn it! It is. You see that?
Are they excited for him, or are
Yeah,
they
man. Like
seeing
or
some
whatever
shit
it
that they
is.
don't
Or
they
they look like
don't
they just found out too.
what it look like, don't it?
Yeah.
And they trying to lean back because the little kid got the book and not them.
Yeah, it look like they just found out too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Man.
So
That
I
was a good
mean,
show, man. Thank you guys.
I mean, then you can take that as the kid is reading to the grown-ups some real history. And the grown-ups is like, what?
Exactly, man.
They've been lying to us all this time. What? Right? So the youngster teaching.
Yeah. I sat and played with that picture for a while, man.
Yeah, the youngster teaching, man. Youngster teaching. What you think? What you think, Eric?
That could be.
The youngster, you think the youngster teaching, man?
It could be.
Gerald.
Yeah.
Look like the youngster teaching, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's teaching or they just glad that a little kid is reading and his head about to explode. He about to explode.
It's either or I take it. I would take it this way too. Or maybe they just surprised he can read it.
I know. Yeah, yeah.
Right? Maybe they just surprised that he can actually read it.
Shit crazy. Such an awakening, man.
Yeah, man. Like, but yeah, King. But hey, man, that's why they call it apologists. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta be sorry for that sorry ass story that they keep putting out here for our people, man. You ought to be apologetic.
Right. Right.
You ought to be apologist.
Yeah, shit's crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. Like I said, you gotta have some kind of tough skin, King. And you know what I'm saying? But when that's what happens when you run out of gas, though you start running out of gas. Talk about the consensus, and then you get to talking about what the scholars say and what the others did. You talking about cats that agree. You got a whole nother side to this.
He like a little
That's
paid.
right.
He like a little paid. Go ahead, Kerry.
Oh, I was thinking that in your background, I love your background because it's how I feel. So all the crap I was told was lies, and I'm finally getting the truth, and that's how they look to me. Like that's how I feel. Like wow, wow. So thank you guys. I'm probably gonna get off. I love y'all.
All right, Queen. You have a good day. Thanks for joining. Hey, that's what I said too, King.
When you look at, if you take the whole thing in context from what I'm trying to go back to now, is he's reacting to a post, right?
Mm-hmm.
So somebody put up a post about Hero and Jesus or something.
About just the Jesus and Jesus story, I guess is copy from Egypt.
Right. As an apologist, that's what they gonna defend that. They definitely gonna step on that. They feel like that's a false. That will bring them out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's how I used to deal with them. And I used to be that even mad at people that put out certain comedic stuff that they couldn't prove, that would say stuff about religion. You know what I'm saying? Some of the stuff you can't prove. And there was a lot of time that zeitgeist stuff, and it was just a lot of misinformation. You know what I'm saying? A lot of some of that shit coming from General Massey. You know what I'm saying? So for me to feel, dealing with the truth, I would spank some of the brothers who would come with the misinformation. You know what I'm saying? So it wouldn't look like I would just, jumping on the Judeo Christian and Islamic or the Abrahamic faiths. If it was misinformation, I would jump on that too. So I always knew that was one thing that would trigger them. Anything claiming that Jesus was connected to Horus, they're gonna always put it Horus. or the ISIS such and such in Israel. That's what's going, and you're gonna have to prove it to him. So when he came on here, when you flipped it and asked him what it was about, y'all remember he was saying, what this ain't supposed to be about, what is it about me? What is it about?
Yeah,
And he was like, well,
maybe,
the person who put out the thing, that's the person, he thought it was gonna be maybe somebody arguing about that.
He thought that I was gonna prove that post.
Right.
And I never said that I was gonna prove it.
Exactly. That's when he found out it was turned on him. He only came out because he thinking you ain't gonna be able to prove that. And he gonna be able to stand it, he gonna be able to get you on it if you try.
Right. That's right. That's why I said I'm not finna try to, the burden of proof ain't on me. It's on you because the claim comes from you.
Hey, Jamie Moore getting smooth
when
on
you
him.
asked him about it being an apologist and his beliefs on thing, it was the court was flipped. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know what I'm saying? And that's when he was uncomfortable.
Well, when he got to talk about the onus is on the person who posted, so that will put me on. Okay, let me go on and twist it up real quick. I'm a flip him. Let me flip him real quick. Let me flip him real quick so I can get him to answer my goddamn questions. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna get him to defend this shit. You an apologist, so go on, goddamn it, and start defending this shit. So that you know what I'm saying. So here's the claim.
Yeah.
Right. Here's the claim. Now, and then he went on here and start defending it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Went right in.
Well, that immaculate conception thing, right? That confused a lot of us. We heard Dr. Ben say immaculate conception, and we think immaculate conception, we're connecting that to the Offset thing. You with me?
Right.
Yeah, virgin birth. That's not what they mean by immaculate conception. So they gonna take you down that argument to win. They know it's a false argument. They know, you know what I'm saying? They know we talking about two different things. You with me?
Right.
So he can say, no, I deny immaculate conception, but I believe in the virgin birth.
But you got to explain what the difference is and then make it make sense.
You got to do that to him. He ain't going to do it. That's why they say they're freaky. They be tricky with that bullshit. Because they won't do that.
You remember what I said? As soon as he said that, I said, okay, well, tell me what's the difference. Because to me, they're the goddamn same.
Yeah, and he explained the difference. I can't remember what he said, but
yeah, it was stupid. That's why he didn't go into it because
that's
seen how stupid it sounds.
That's when Gerald jumped in. He couldn't take it no more. He couldn't get home fast enough.
He couldn't he couldn't. He tried to explain it, but then he can't. He's the subject changed, but because he found out. He started seeing how stupid that shit sound as you trying to explain that shit. What's the difference, man?
Well, with the Immaculate Conception, right?
The virgin birth. They're both virgins. They both got pregnant by what?
Remember what Immaculate Conception mean, though.
What do you mean?
You don't got the original sin on you.
Yeah, you got the original.
Yeah, but you, yeah, I know.
Stop.
Yeah,
Stop.
Nah, man.
Let's stop. I could agree with her having immaculate conception. That makes sense?
What's immaculate conception?
Not having original sin on you.
So that's the Christian version.
Okay, well, no, not having immaculate conception. Yeah, it's not having a sin on you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can go with that too. I mean, I go with that too.
That's the African concept. We born, if that's what y'all saying it is, yeah, we all born in immaculate conception.
What I'm saying
we're not born in original sin.
And so the other one is so the other one you is, and the other one you're not. That's the difference. Is that what you're saying?
Okay, you got original sin. They say everybody, basically, if you believe in Adam and Eve, the original sin was put on them by God. You ain't got shit to do with it if this is your belief.
Right.
That makes sense.
Right.
I don't know. That's that you born in it. He ate the apple and God punished him. Hey, blah blah. Y'all gonna go through this here.
So you saying the difference between original sin and no original sin is I mean that's the difference between immaculate conception and virgin birth is one is born in the sin in original sin and one is not. What you saying?
Right. Right.
That's difference. Okay.
Okay. So if you go just to African traditional systems, or let's go back to our Kemetic system. We said we were born divine.
That's right.
You with me?
That's right.
So that would be, according to that, that's immaculate conception. We're not born in sin. We're born divine. We are divine by birth. So for us to hear an alien story, that when I always say miseducation, that's hearing something that's not about your culture and you accepting it. If you go back to your roots and you hear my culture is divine, and I hear this story that I'm born in sin, I'm gonna reject that. Now, if that's the only story I know from the beginning, then that's the only story I know. I gotta accept. I'm looking at everybody else like, oh, you don't believe the Adam and Eve story? This is the only thing we know. I can just quote the claim from the scripture. When somebody break outside of that, then they say, well, no, you don't know the Kemetic story. You don't know the story about the Saurian resurrection. You know? So it becomes a difference once you know your story, once you connect to your spiritual stories, not to their spiritual stories, which is alien, which is foreign to us and our culture. Right. So according to that, she's supposed to have not born in sin because she gives birth to Jesus. She got to be pure. They're making her pure just by just a whole thought, some kind of way. Everybody else, but some kind of way she don't get touched by it. She not born. So I guess anybody cannot be born in it if it can happen to her. Why can't it happen to nobody else?
Man, out of everybody, then she the one to get she get the pass.
Well, again, you got to believe this. Then once you believe this, then that's why it makes Jesus come possible to clear your sins.
Okay, so the so Judaism,
he did it for you.
So Judaism, what they believe? She was immaculate. It was immaculate conception, or was it a virgin birth?
According to the Judaism, because Jesus didn't fulfill the prophecy of ending the world, they don't give a damn about her. Shit.
Huh? I'm saying, was it an immaculate conception though, or was it a virgin birth?
Still, to all the virgin birth is gonna still be a virgin birth.
I'm saying to the Israelites, to the Hebrew Israelites, she was immaculate. She was immaculate conception, conceived, right?
No, that would be to the Christians, not to the Hebrew Israelites.
So the Israelites said that she was
she would not be revealed amongst the Jews in Judaism. She's gonna be revealed amongst Christianity. She ain't gonna have no place in Judaism.
I'm saying, did she have immaculate conception or did she have a virgin birth? According to the Israelites.
I don't know if they would give any reverence to it. But I think the deal about the virgin birth and being announced by the angel Gabriel, I think that They will both accept that, I guess, if they roll with it. You know, the virgin birth is Gabriel coming, an angel coming and announcing her and telling her that she has a virgin, she's gonna be pregnant. It's an announcement. She's told. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Christians have to accept it because they believe in Jesus. I don't know if Judaism even delve into it.
Go ahead, Aunt. You gotta unmute yourself. You muted.
No, I was just checking into this Hebrew Israelites and their relationship to the Mother Mary.
I think they think that she was immaculate. It was immaculate conception.
Well, I was reading too also.
Huh?
I was also reading that I guess the Judaism does not see human nature as irrevocably tainted by some sort of original sin. While for the Apostle Paul, Adam's act released a power into the world by which sin and death became the natural lot of mankind. So it sounds like at some point, fourth centuries, they start writing this into the doctrine. Some men start writing this into the doctrine based on how they view it. They probably sat and discussed it like we are, and decide to change some shit.
They make a
Yeah. Yeah.
for all of our people here.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I can go with that.
I pulled a little debate up on it to watch a little later.
Yeah, man. So,
I want to know how Jesus got here then if he wasn't born.
well, he was born. It
Right.
was just that. It was born the same. The story the same. It's just that one. I guess one. She was in original sin, and the other one she wasn't. So somebody made a decision there.
So if I understand you correctly, you believe that Jesus was born, but you just don't believe he was born in the sin.
No, he's saying he wasn't born. Right, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So you believe the story of Jesus as a man being born from a woman, but she just wasn't born in the
I don't
sin.
believe. I don't
I
believe
don't
in none of
believe
that
that
mess.
shit.
I don't
Well,
believe in
that's what
none
I'm
of that
saying.
shit.
That's what I just asked. You said, "Oh, he was real. He was born."
No, he was talking about the
No,
Hebrew Israelites.
no, I'm just talking about as far as the Hebrew Israelites believe. What how they what they think about it.
Oh,
No,
Hey,
I don't believe
Eric
that
about
any
to
of those
tear your
people.
ass
no,
up, boy.
Yeah, he
no, because
was.
the Hebrews they believe this cat was a regular dude who just was born and maybe he spoke out against the injustices of being oppressed, but they don't see him as some form of Messiah. Is that correct?
No, well, some of them do, some of them don't.
Now, some Jews see Jesus as Messiah.
Well, you got the Old Testament believers and you got the New Testament believers.
So you got some. What do they call Orthodox, or which ones are they that believe Jesus was the Messiah?
Shit, don't give me the Lion King.
Oh, I
But
put that out.
but they do got groups that believe in just the New Testament only, and then you got groups that believe in Old Testament only. So I guess it just depends on the camp. You got some that don't believe nothing about Jesus. And then you got them that's all they believe is about Jesus. So Just whoever you want. You just
What a mess, man.
I mean, they can, and this is, but the guy wrote the book, but you can pick and choose, you know, between the books. Like you can't. I thought you had to, if you was going, you should, it seemed like you would bleed up the whole book instead of pieces and parts of it, man. Because what if one part say something that the other part not saying? What if you're missing? You might be missing something. It might be some connections in there somewhere, man, where you might need, because the book does reference a lot of books that ain't in there. A few of them. So I mean, it refers you to different books that's supposed to be there. But hey, so somebody's making these decisions, King. That's all I'm saying. Somebody's taking these people in, putting these people in. Like I said, they had two concepts. One believed that she was born in original sin. The other ones don't believe she was. So who somebody's making a decision there. You know what I mean? Somebody's making that decision, man. Or this is why they have so many different goddamn Christian groups. Because everybody want to change this about it and change that about it. You know what I'm saying? It's all with the same damn book, and y'all can't get the same understanding. Like what's wrong, man? Out of the same book, man. This just amazes me, man. Y'all reading out of the same damn book, like, and it's all English. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't no different English than I got right here. This shit ain't really complicated. Even if you can get a dictionary, that's good too. I mean, but you got hundreds of denominations and different camps and different churches and Methodist, Baptist, Lutheran, and Pentecostal and all these other joints, man. And they reading out of this one book. And they don't get along. They don't talk to each other. They won't speak to each other. None of that, man. Yeah, like out of the same book. Same damn book, man. Like we can get a book and we can read this. We get this book right here. We take this book right here. All four of us, all five of us, carry two. We can take any one of these books, man. Any one of these books, kid books. Read these books, and we'll all get the same basic understanding out of the book, man. Now we all might pick different things to talk about out of it, but even then, you can agree with it. Like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
he did go down to the shop and what I'm saying, pick up thing, fix thing. You know what I mean? Like what I'm saying? Like, like we can agree with that. But then you get this book, and nah, man, it'll split families apart. It'll split families apart, man. Like, what are y'all reading? What are y'all reading, man? It's making y'all do that.
Subliminal message is going on, man.
No, man, that's not no book for y'all. That's not our book, man. It's not our book.
Right.
That's all I'm gonna say. It's not our book.
Yeah, I'm gonna get on off, man, and
oh yeah, just like you, man, want to hit and run. See, that's what you want to do. Pink,
yeah,
pew, we go. All right.
yeah, shit, y'all can stay. Hey, it's a little opposite of y'all ain't got to
You got to go home. You got to get the
yeah,
hell up out of here, though.
you know how it go.
Yeah, I hear you, King. I know, man. I'm about to get off too.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm gonna get myself ready for my work week.
Yeah, me too, man. I gotta get ready for this work, long ass work. It ain't gonna be really long. I ain't got a whole lot to do. Uh, I ain't really got a whole lot to do, man. But yeah. Anyway, hey, Joe, hey, family, hey, thanks, That was a dynamic video, man. Lot of good information, man. Yeah. See, these are things that make you think, man, about what you invest your life into, man. I mean, our ancestors gave us material. They gave us literature. They gave us artifacts. They gave us proof. They gave us so much proof, family, that they were here and they wrote on those walls, man. Like, do you understand that writing began in Africa? Language began in Africa. There's no writings nowhere in those walls about no Jesus, man. Nowhere. You ain't gonna find it. That shit came way later. Way later. So I'm just saying, family, pay attention, man. Good video, You guys, man, need to go back and check those videos out. Who was it by?
That was by who was it by, Eric?
Witho? Was it Witho?
Hold up.
Yeah, check those videos out, man. Excuse me. Some really good information, man. The brother gonna give you the name in a minute.
Yeah.
Please check it out, man. They got some good stuff on there.
Without history.
Without history, family. Check it out, man. Good stuff on there. Give them a thumbs up, give them a like, give them and share it. Share the information, man. Anybody want to say something?
I just wanted to say real quick, man, that every time I see those glyphs, man, that is some remarkable art, man. I mean, just so detailed and man, this just blows me away. So, be sure to like or subscribe. That just, does what it does on there at, YouTube and shit for. We ain't trying, I don't give a fuck people subscribe or not, man. I'm just saying, it's just what YouTube does. So, like, subscribe, come on over to Sankofa 180 Degrees Facebook group page and I'll share some comments, man. Ask some questions if you want. We ain't got all the answers, man, but we ain't them fuck folks that is gonna answer something according to some off-brand stuff, so just to be having a conversation. Anyways, bless you guys. Boom. Hey, we got to decide afterwards who's gonna do next week.
Gerald, say something.
Yeah, peace. I appreciate the presentation. No, good information dealing with civilization. We being the originators of civilization, as they was showing how far we go back. And shit, what 500 years ago they were saying we weren't even human. So yeah,
right.
If you don't know your history, you know what I'm saying, you can be put into a state of slavery.
You fall for anything.
Yeah. And again, that goes still today. Teach our young ones, as the book was on profile is showing. Whatever that's being read or being seen, the young and the old are being inspired by it. So that's something that we both need to engage in. Something that our youth and something that us as elders need to be dealing with, whether it's reading, listening to, or presenting what we're both inspired by. And that's Black Power, Black Love.
That's the shit.
Right.
That's
shit.
Right.
Eric, want to say something, King?
Eric said bring a book or a bone or don't come.
Hey, well, fishing pole, we better bring a fishing pole, some seeds, better bring something.
Bring something to the table, man. That's it. Yeah, man, that's a good video, man. I like that video. Good presentation.
Thank you.
Yep.
That's right, man. That's
Yeah, that's
right,
about
man.
it, man.
Hey,
Keep it
man,
coming.
family. Go ahead. Go ahead, Eric.
That's it, brother. Let's just keep it coming.
That's right.
And
Hey,
so we'll be back at it again on Friday. Friday, 7 p.m.
yes, sir.
Eastern Standard Time.
Yes, sir. Join us, man. Come on in, man. It's open mic. Talk about whatever you want to talk about, man. You got an argument, man. Let's argue. You know what I'm saying? You want to debate? Let's debate. You want to talk? Whatever you want to do, man. We here. Somebody on this panel will engage you. All right. So anyway, family, don't forget, first Sunday of the month, man. Children's book read, man. It's very important. Bring the babies. Uh, you just don't know how important it is, man, for us not to lose our history, man. And right now they're on the edge, on the brink of losing our history, man. If your child is 9, 10, 8, 7, hey, right now is the time. 5, 4, right now is the time to set them down and do what got these people in the back doing. Open up that book, read it, and everybody else listen. You know what I'm saying? And everybody gonna learn something. Hey, thanks for joining, man. Like, subscribe, share, and give us a couple of comments. Let us know what you think. And again, man, thanks for joining, man. We love you.
Yeah, and one more thing about Friday night, if you just want to come in and potentially share something that you might that we might not know, or that you want to just share that you don't typically get to share, throughout the day or something, come on in here and share some of that thought, that comedic thought, or whatever, based on what you got, man. So there's no, we ain't playing over here, man. These boys had a good show, a good warm up this morning. And what I mean by not playing, man, they well equipped. So bless you.